Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about the karmic, right? That word that everybody has sort of villainized, honestly. So this is probably going to be another one of those trigger warning types of videos when we're talking about, karmic partnerships and the divine masculine twin potentially being in what the feminine would deem as a karmic partnership, karmic relationship, something that is getting in the way of what the feminine feels is the partnership with the masculine, right? So the karmic situation is a slippery slope. And this is one of those topics that, everybody sees everywhere. And this is one of those topics that I have literally been seeing for a decade, easily coming up all the time. The karmic is doing this, the karmic is doing that. What about the karmic? Oh, the karmic is so toxic. Oh, the karmic is this and that and the other. So this video is going to be like reframing how we're viewing the karmic connection with your masculine, if the masculine has a karmic connection, even if that is ongoing now or was ongoing and is not ongoing now in regard to relationship, status, whether that's casual or otherwise. So the karmic situation is not the villain here, right? And I know that that's a trigger for a lot of people. The karmic situation is not a situation to villainize or view as toxic or view as, the worst thing ever, or view as, the reason that I'm not with my masculine is because my masculine is still figuring out their karmic or going through a karmic contract, or, their karmic is, tying them down, or their karmic is feeding them all of these things, or and then I see other things that are talking about the karmic situation just being this karmic person is just so awful, or they're trying to be me, or the karmic can never be me because I'm embodying my feminine and she can't do that, or he can't do that. And so now that they see that I'm embodying my feminine energy, they feel so threatened by me. And so they're watching me, they're watching my social media, but blah, 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 blah. Guys, please don't fall into that trap. Please don't fall into that narrative. That is another epitome of divisiveness and separation, and it is going to keep you in loops if you are consistently looking outside of your dynamic, which is you within, consistently looking outside and viewing some other person that potentially is with your divine masculine, or was with your divine masculine, or could be with your divine masculine romantically, and you're seeing that and describing that literally, and potentially making content on that or teaching that in some way to other twin flames, how toxic this is, how awful this is, how as soon as, this happens, then the masculine will finally wake up to see that I am this, that, and the other, and the karmic was always these awful things. We are the creator of our reality. The masculine is you. The masculine polarity, not gender specific, is you. So whatever you are putting out there, which is coming from within you, is what you are going to see reflected back to you from the masculine polarity, which is you. So two things here. If you are consistently saying this kind of stuff over and over and over again, then that means that that's your focus, right? Then that means that suddenly your focus has shifted out of awakening, which is what the twin flame path is, which is breaking all of these, very distorted and very dysfunctional narratives away, So you've potentially shifted out of the focus of the awakening, the ascension, your self-love, coming back into the truth of what you are and your I am presence and your embodiment and all of these sort of things. And you have shifted your focus now onto the external reality of what, not only what the masculine is doing wrong, but now what this other third party person potentially is doing wrong, and how that is coming between you and them, and how it's so awful and blah, blah, blah. You're creating this if this is the narrative that you are playing out in your head over and over again. If this is the focus that you're having, then this is the focus that will continue to show up in your external reality, because you are a creator being, right? So that's the one side of it. The other side of it is that if the masculine is having an interaction with who you deem as a karmic, which ultimately you don't know that, it could be a soulmate. It's just a belief system, again, that's saying like the karmic is really, really bad. The soulmate is okay, but the karmic is bad, right? I'll get into that in a minute. So the other aspect of this is that if your divine masculine is having interaction with someone that you have tagged and labeled and defined in this way, have the awareness that that is also your reflection playing out. It's also something within you. So if we're viewing people as being super toxic and like abusive, and we're like taglining all of these things, this person's a narcissist, this person's an avoidant, this person is this, you know, my twin is blah, blah, blah. Where is that coming from, guys? Right? Sorry, my twin is actually putting in like molding or something in the living room, so you might hear the nail gun. We have to ask ourselves this stuff all the time. You have to be checking yourself all the time. Where is this narrative coming from? Why and what is going on within me that I now feel the need to literally be just sort of projecting and blasting out onto the masculine and onto the potential of some other person, my own wounds, right? That's what's happening. It's your own wounds are bleeding out onto this other situation. And due to the fact that that's happening, and due to the fact that that is your focus, and you keep like putting your focus externally outward, you keep the wound alive and you keep the narrative playing. And so it keeps showing up in your physical reality. And so you continue in this same loop, right? You continue in the same loop. As far as karmics are concerned, which I've done tons and tons and tons of, you know, work around karmic relationships, and I did that on my old channel, and I have some of that on my Instagram here and there and whatever. And if you guys want me to make more content on that or courses on that, I'd be happy to do that. So, the karmic is not a villain. The karmic is not to be villainized. The karmic is not to be looked at as being just this awful, horrible person. A karmic is part of your soul family. The karmic has come in and said, hey, let's incarnate into this reality, and I'm gonna like put you to the test on all of these things. Apparently, these lessons and all of these like roadblocks that you have continued to run over and over again, these belief systems and these programs and whatever else that it is that you continue to hit the same wall. You'll know if you're in a karmic, you know, pattern or a karmic contract, because that same exact thing will show up no matter who you date. It will show up in like parental situations, it'll show up in jobs, it'll show up in romantic partnerships. It will be a loop that will be going round and round and round, that you're wondering why you can't get out of this. Why do I keep attracting this same exact pattern over and over again? No matter who I date, no matter what I do, why do I keep attracting this same pattern? And it will be the same pattern over and over again. That means that you are attracting a karmic situation into your life to show you that same pattern, so that you can break it, so that you can release whatever that is, so that you can learn that lesson and move on, so that you are no longer attracting those same kind of dynamics, those same type of relationships, right, into your life. So this doesn't mean that this is bad. This actually means that that's a positive thing, right? You have decided to do this as a higher self to, you know, bring this situation into your life so that you can break out of the lesson, so that you can break free of it, so that you don't keep running that program over and over and over again, right? So regardless of whether we see that as toxic or abusive or whatever else that we want to see, what we really need to see is that there's a lesson here that we have been avoiding, that we've been not seeing, all of these sort of things, right? So we don't need to be villainizing a karmic relationship. The karmic relationship is here to help you to break free, right? Where karmic situations keep going round and round and round and round, we need to recognize that that's our pattern that we are not shifting out of. It's our belief, it's our program that we are not shifting out of, and that's why we keep attracting it, and that's why it keeps coming round and round and round. So when we're seeing that potentiality of playing out with your divine masculine twin flame, have the awareness that you are them, they are you. You are one consciousness, right? So that means that whatever's going on within you, you're going to see reflected back through them, because they are going to show you that you still have that program or that pattern running within you somewhere, right? So have that awareness. You are the one that needs to break that program and that pattern. So when we're looking outside again in the external reality that the masculine needs to do this, the masculine needs to awaken, the masculine needs to heal, the masculine needs to show up for me in this way, the masculine needs to do all of these things, blah, 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 we will continue to play that out. Because the only reason that we are saying any of those things is because those things are running within us, right? And the natural, program that we have had for so long has been saying, based on 3D templated romantic relationships, is as soon as my boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever, gets their shit straight, then that means our relationship is going to work out. But it's all on them. It's all their problem. It's all their issue. If they would do this and that and the other, then potentially we could work this out. If they would, apologize to me, if they would do, change, if they wouldn't be such a narcissist, if they would go to therapy and whatever else. And we lose the string and the strand in the 3D templated situation because we're still in the sleeping state. And so we're still thinking that everything external to us is not us, right? You start going through the awakening, you start having the awareness as, oh shit, it's all me. It is all me. And I am creating things, and I am seeing these reflections in my external reality because I'm attracting that stuff, right? Because on some level, those things are still running. Well, the masculine who is you, right? The masculine who is the masculine aspect of you, who is helping you to shift all of these things, can only reflect back to you what you are holding within you. So if you are still having this narrative that's saying the karmic is toxic and bad and blah and blah and blah, then guess what's going to happen? The masculine is going to be with a karmic that you're going to view in that way in order to push that narrative free from you, in order for you to release that narrative, in order for you to release whatever belief that's going on behind that karmic situation. So what is the lesson there? Because that's what you need to look at. Instead of looking at what's going on with them, you need to look at what's the lesson there that I am not seeing, that I haven't seen. And so look into your own relationships. What lesson have you been repeating potentially over and over again, right? What's still playing out? What potentially did you not heal from your last karmic interaction? What have you not healed from a current karmic interaction? Because that's all they're showing you. That's it. That is all they are showing you, is some sort of pattern or program, some sort of karmic lesson that is still running, right? This whole path, and I know that it's difficult to look at it through these other lenses all the time, and I know that it's triggering in a lot of ways because just generally speaking, we want to blame other people, right? It's human nature for us to want to blame this and that and the other and this, all that kind of stuff, right? It's hard to be in the place of ownership. It's hard to be in the place of actually looking at ourselves through the microscope of what patterns am I running? What belief systems am I subscribing to? How have I sabotaged myself in other relationships? All of those sort of things. And the thing is that the reason that that's so hard for us to do that a lot of the times is because we don't want to put ourselves down. This path isn't about putting yourself down. It's not about blaming yourself. It's not about like being down on yourself or any of those things. It's having the awareness of, I had these experiences, and I had these experiences in separation. I didn't know what the hell I was doing then, right? You weren't awake then. You didn't have the same awarenesses as you're having now as you're going through this process. You didn't. This is why I'm saying things like, be gentle with yourself, be loving with yourself, be kind to yourself, right? Allow yourself to just see like, hey, yeah, I had this karmic thing, or I have this belief system. I don't need to feel bad about it, right? It's not about feeling bad about it. It's not about, as I said, putting yourself down or being like, God, why did I do that? Or, why do I keep doing this to myself over and over again? Or why, blah, 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 blah. Because you didn't know any better. You did the best you could with what you had in the moment, and that's it, right? And just allow that to be what it is, right? Because otherwise now we're like going into like another story of like, oh, well, I shouldn't have done this. And oh, well, all of the narratives and all of the stories, they're just keeping you in the loops, and they're just creating, more sort of strings for us to have to follow and go down all of these rabbit holes and all of this sort of stuff. So it's just having the awareness of, we've had these certain experiences for our growth, and that's it, right? And so now you're awakening, and you don't need to have those same repetitive experiences anymore. You had them. Your higher self is like, we're good, we've done this, now we're ready to do something else. And so it's just seeing like, okay, the twin is having some sort of karmic interaction. So does that mean that I'm still having some sort of karmic, lesson that's still coming up within me? Is there still something within me that I am subscribing to? And you can bet your ass if you're still seeing them, the whole process as toxic, and you're labeling it as all of these awful things, then that means that that is still running within you, right? And again, it's not about blaming yourself. It's about being honest with yourself. Okay, I'm seeing that this pattern is running within me. I'm really angry. I'm really pissed off. I'm really sad. I'm really upset. I really feel abandoned. I really feel whatever it is. Feel it. Feel it, right? It's big. Feel it. But don't project it, right? Because projecting it keeps it going. It keeps you feeding it. It keeps it showing up. It keeps it doing all of these things, right? As within, so without. Feel what's coming up from within you. And then have that awareness as, okay, I feel like shit right now, or I feel sad right now, or I feel abandoned right now, or I feel whatever this is right now. Let me deal with what I'm feeling instead of projecting it out onto the masculine and potentially some sort of karmic situation that I think that is, right? All of it's doing is like, it's transference, right? It's transferring the emotion that we have onto some external reality because we ultimately don't want to feel that emotion, or we don't want to look at whatever's coming up. And so the ego, naturally wanting to defend itself, is like, push that away and blame this and blame that and have labels and definitions and all of these things, right? When the whole reason that the masculine reflects anything back is because they're trying to show you, they who are you, through the higher self is showing you, hey, can we let this go? Can we let this go? Can we feel this now, right? Can we break this lesson? Can we actually see this lesson and release it? Because that's how the external reality changes, right? That's how the reflection shifts. It doesn't shift by villainizing the outside situation. It shifts by having like the awareness of, okay, I feel this. This is something that's still coming on within me. So let me deal with what's going on within me again, because that's the whole reason that I'm seeing this reflection. Let me do me, right? This whole path, as I keep saying, it's about your awakening, it's about your ascension, it's about coming back into self-love and coming back into the embodiment of the higher self that is you. Coming back into the embodiment and the remembrance that you are the I am presence, that you are the light of being, that you are conscious awareness experiencing itself in form. And so all of these other things that are pulling you into these separation and divisive narratives are just part of the past energies that we have been playing out in separation consciousness, and that's all fine and good. But if you're going through the awakening, which you will be, as I keep saying, if you're actually experiencing a true twin flame dynamic, then that means that those narratives are dropping away. They are shedding. And so if we're gripped on to still some of these belief systems and programs and narratives and all of these sort of things, then you can guarantee that the higher self that is you is going to reflect all of those narratives and belief systems and stuff straight back to you through the physical aspect of the masculine, so that you can see them and so that you can stop avoiding them. And having the awareness that it's your ego that immediately steps to the forefront with all of its programs and belief systems set firmly in place for however many lifetimes or years we've been doing that, and is going to start telling you the same thing, because this has been programmed in your subconscious to see and believe and to, perceive things in a certain way. The awakening is breaking that loose. It's breaking that free. Allow yourself to break that loose. Allow yourself to break that free. Allow yourself to step out of that narrative that is potentially keeping you in a loop of going round and round and round. And just bring the focus back to you, right? All the time. Bring that focus back to me. What is it about this situation that I don't want to feel? What is it about this situation that I have not looked at, dealt with, healed, released, transmuted, felt, owned, loved, seen? All of it. Because that's all it is. That's all it is. And anything else that we are labeling it as is just another defense mechanism trying to cover up what's actually trying to break free from you, right? Remember, this is a heart chakra activation, right? Your energetic system is fully blown, coming back online. It's the point of the Kundalini rising. We are breaking free of the cocoon that we have been living in for however long. And so when all of this stuff is coming up, it's not to piss you off, it's not to hurt you, it's not to keep you in loops, it's to break you free, right? It's to break you free from all of that stuff that is keeping you suffering and keeping you in loops. And this is one of those major topics that comes across my coaching all the time, that comes across my awareness all the time, that just continues to feed on itself and feed on itself. And it's a huge one on this path that we need to break free from, because it is a big aspect of this that are keeping a lot of people in the same narrative of suffering, right? So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Hopefully that brings you guys some clarity, and I hope that you guys have an awesome day.